Get ready to get chill bumps.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie 5.
Yes, sir, we're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie 5, and we are ready to get after it. We're going to talk about probably one of the better videos, Auburn-related, Auburn coach-related that I've seen in quite some time, and the message behind it, it should give you chill bumps. If it doesn't, then it's a you issue. We're going to dive deeper into this AP poll travesty. One particular voter who's getting a lot of negative publicity, and talk about starting fast. That seems to be the theme this week. We're going to jump into all that in just a second. But before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to rowback.com. Use coupon code BARN20 to take 20% off your order. Polos, hoodies, pullovers, doesn't matter. They got it all. You can get your Auburn licensed apparel as well. Show them some love, man. Get tailgate ready with rowback.com, and you can save big. 20% off is a pretty big deal on that site. So check them out. Show them some love. It's rowback.com. I love hype videos. I love highlight videos. I love all that stuff. And, you know, when you're in the right mood, it can really get you jacked up. War Eagle Plus, you know, that's been like the big push this year is all of their content, their cinematic reviews of the previous weekend have just been phenomenal. But they just released a video yesterday, and you can listen. There's pregame speeches you can listen to for forever and ever. Amen. Okay, but Hugh has a message, and I don't want to spoil too much about it, but I want to play the clip from his pregame message before Ball State. And I defy you not to get jacked up.
One thing that I could leave with you when you get through playing here, it would be that life is more about others than it is yourself. What buys long-lasting purpose is you understanding selflessness and it being about something bigger than yourself. And tonight, I submit to you that there's some family that drove from I don't know where, parked 5 miles out away from this stadium, and they saved all freaking year long just to buy a ticket to climb to the top of that stadium and watch your tail play. You owe them something.
Woo! That'll preach. That'll preach big time. Look, I love all the stuff they're doing, and it's great. And one thing that War Eagle Plus has, kind of shown everybody a little bit behind the scenes, and they produced this clip, and they got this, and they shared it with everyone. And I think it's been the single greatest PR that Hugh's had since he's been here. This was a rough summer, man. A very, very rough summer, and a lot of it. It's hard to argue that he didn't bring on himself a lot of times. And then some of it was just the media spinning things way out of control during talking season. But this was real. This was raw, and you could feel this. You could feel it in his voice. And let me tell you the biggest reason why that message is a big deal. We're playing Ball State, okay? Auburn could have played their worst game more than likely and beat Ball State. But when a coach sees something in a team that is special, when a coach sees something, when a coach knows they have something in a team, these are the kind of games where you have to almost give extra effort to keep them locked in. You have to give a little bit more to emphasize the importance of your performance on every single play. That speech wasn't for Ball State. That speech was for Oklahoma. That speech was for Georgia. That speech was for Alabama down the road. Because I think Hugh feels confidence in this team. When I was playing, again, I don't like to say back in my day, but I mean it's relevant. We had a pretty good football team my senior year, and we're playing the worst team on our schedule. I'm talking about, bless their hearts, they were awful. Barely had enough people to dress out. I mean, and it wasn't like this was just a 1A school, played 3, 4A football. They were terrible. We could have played our third string and beat them by 40 points. But that was one of the hardest weeks of practice that I ever experienced in high school. Everything you did was wrong. Everything you did was you're not getting better. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Trying to keep you engaged. And the only reason you do that is because you know you got a good team. There's been a 2-year period where the Hugh Freeze we've seen hasn't really felt like the Hugh Freeze that we thought of back from Ole Miss. The Hugh Freeze with that fire, the Hugh Freeze that has that confidence, that swagger. That's who we expected. And you've seen it sort of obviously materialize on the recruiting trail. But, man, there was an edge that Hugh had when he went on the field where it was just like, I'm just better than you. I'm better than you. I'm feeling it. And we're going to beat you. And there's almost seems like there's almost a lack of confidence, rediscovering of oneself that he's had to go through. Couple that in with some health issues. This is really good to see, because this is the Hugh that I wanted to hire back in 2020. This is the Hugh, lock the doors, let's look for a fight, and let's see what they got. This to me tells me that Hugh feels really, really confident about this team. And you have to make sure that it's the whole picture. You're looking at the whole picture when you play these type games. This isn't just Auburn, let's go roll over Ball State. This is let's go set a standard. Let's go get better. Let's don't overlook one play to the next. Let's think about everybody that like he said, saves up all year and comes to the only game they can get access to, which is the Ball State game. Let's give them let's put a good product on the field. Let's do something for more than just ourselves. Let's look at the whole picture. That message, if that message resonates, you could have something special. And I think Hugh sees the potential, like most of us have seen in this roster, but it's not like it's just going to happen on its own. You got to make sure that everybody's locked in. You got to make sure that they feel that message. They understand that message. That was great. That was fantastic. They do a really good job. The video is great, even, through the highlights of the game, through all that. So it's really good. I challenge everybody to go get a subscription. That is like the new way that they get money, back to the players. And there's a little bit more of even more of a value to the fans than maybe even prior. So if you don't have a War Eagle Plus subscription, you definitely need to check it out. Great content there for sure. We're going to talk about this AP poll travesty here in just a second. And we're going to talk about starting fast. That's the theme of this week. And I think it's big. You definitely need to start faster than we have prior. We'll be back right after this. This AP poll thing has sort of spun out of control. And look, we celebrated the fact that, Auburn cracked the top 25. Probably should be ranked a little bit higher than they are. But, hey, look, haven't been there in 4 years or since 2021, so hard to be picky. But as some of the ballots have been released, it sort of, I guess, pulls the curtain back on maybe a bigger issue that college football has, especially in their pollings. And hey, like it or not, the AP poll carries a lot of weight. So what am I talking about? Apparently one particular voter, Haley Sawyer, she's actually a USC beat writer. Her ballot almost looks like, you remember whenever you just had no idea on several questions back on those old Scantrons and you just do the little Christmas tree? It almost looks like, or just always pick C. That was the rule. Just always go with C. It almost looks like she filled out her ballot that way. Like she doesn't either care, doesn't know, or it's just not even a big deal and it's just a game. And it's honestly insane to me that can happen. Like there can be that level of person out there casting votes that matter, that are a part of this. What is it, like 60 plus media, 62 sports writers? How the crap does someone get into that 62 and put out something like this? The biggest controversy is that she doesn't have South Florida ranked, but she moved Florida up like 2 spots inside the top 15. Now, Florida is not even in the AP top 25, I don't believe. And USF jumped up. So, like, this is just one vote. But those are points. Those are points that count towards things. She tried to blow it off and say, hey, look, it'll all shake itself out in the end. And she's right about that. But, like, look, her vote doesn't stop on week 2. Like, she gets a vote, I guess, every single week in the AP poll. It's like she's going to be voting in week 12, after week 12, when it's, I know the college football playoff committee is the ultimate deciding factor of like who goes to the playoff, but they look at this. You can't tell me they're not influenced by these type of polls. She doesn't even have Auburn in her top 25, but she has Baylor at number 25. I'm sure there are other ballots just as poor as hers. Okay. So don't think that I believe she's the only one that has a top 25 poll as bad as this. Okay. But this is a big deal, man. I mean, I almost think you should just trash thinking the AP poll is anything. That goes for ESPN when you put the rankings up preseason. We got the preseason number 1 and number 5 playing each other. If you drive that off the AP poll, it's not worth a crap. It's complete garbage. If you're on the college football playoff committee, the AP poll should have 0 weight in how you decide anything. It's trash. Like we have years and years of national championships now prior to like the BCS that look at the AP poll as the deciding factor. This is the level of what you're getting. This is what makes up those rankings. People like this. They don't really care. Josh Pate had a great segment on it. It's just a toy to them. They're not really football people. They're just writers trying to get to a means to an end. It's a joke, man. It's a complete joke. There's some people that take it serious, but I bet for every one, there's at least one or more that don't really care. It doesn't really mean anything to them. So that's got to be fixed. I don't know what the solution is, but I do know this. I don't think this is going away. I don't think this story is going away. So we'll see what happens. I'm shifting gears a little bit. Starting fast. That seems to be the theme for this week and maybe for the rest of the season. Auburn's first, and I'm talking specifically about offense because defense has been fine. The first 2 drives of the games for Auburn in game 1 and game 2 have been terrible. You had obviously the 3-and-out against Baylor, and then I believe you had 2 sacks against Jackson on the first drive against Ball State. You do that when you go on the road at Oklahoma, and you could be down 7-0 like really, really quick. And it could put you behind the 8 ball. Got to start faster. Yesterday at practice, Auburn did a tempo period, and you could tell that the theme was start fast, start fast. You heard people yelling, go fast, start fast. You heard people getting fired up about big plays and then going quickly and running the next play and the next play until when you score in 5 or 6 plays, everybody's celebrating, and you got people saying that's how you start fast. That's how you start fast right there. It could not be more crucial for Auburn, especially not so much this week. You definitely want to see it this week because you haven't seen it yet. But when you go to Oklahoma, let's say you lose that toss, you get the ball first. Or hey, let's say you're confident enough where you win the toss and you get the ball first. If you're able to carry it over and start fast on the road at Oklahoma, take the crowd out of the game. Set the tone early. We're here to play. We're here to handle business. The buy-in to me during that period was very impressive because it wasn't the coaches really facilitating it. They were, but it was the players that were bought in. It was the players that were fired up, that were anxious. I mean, and this was not against air. This was ones-on-ones. Walk right down the field and score. Really, really good stuff. I think when you're 2-0 and you just decimate an opponent, and then you've gone on the road and you pretty much dominated a team that is top 25 caliber, in my opinion. You got to find little things. You got to find things to sort of stay engaged, to not believe you've already arrived. Starting fast is definitely one of those. Let's get off to a better start. Let's go ahead and hit them in the mouth to begin with and not play catch up. Not play from behind within the first few possessions. So that was really encouraging to see. I thought they looked sharp yesterday. Again, Jackson looks sharp. Kicking goes, I think that was one of the bigger storylines. Towns looks fine health-wise, but I think if they go to like the first long field goal kicker that goes out there, I think it's going to be Connor Gibbs. I wouldn't be shocked if he's taking kickoffs too. I hate it for Towns because I still believe in Towns. There's just something going on, and I don't really know what it is. Alex, I have not seen Alex miss a field goal yet. For every practice I've been to, I'm not sure that I've seen him miss a field goal yet. He's almost a guarantee 3 points, 40 yards and in. 40 yards is pretty much his max right now. So I think you probably see a lot more Connor Gibbs. Maybe definitely Saturday and maybe for the rest of the season. So we'll see how that whole thing shakes out. That addition in the portal turned out to be a pretty big addition with everything that's gone on. So good stuff there. Damari, I think Damari could probably play if he wanted to. I don't know that it makes sense to play him unless you just have to. I think you're going to be just fine with Jeremiah Cobb and Omar. I don't know how much you'll see of Alvin, if at all. But I just don't. When you're having stinger issues, that's not something that just fixes. Only thing that fixes it is time. You got to have that hard physical running against Oklahoma. So there's no reason not to hold. There's no reason to play him before you get to Oklahoma unless you just have to. So I think he dresses out, and if they have to have him, he could go in. but I would not expect to see much of him. I hope you don't have to see any of him. I think Jeremiah Cobb is on another level right now. He's hungry. I think you feed him, let him go off against South Alabama, give him some rest occasionally with Omar, who to me is right there ready to go. I know pass protection could be an issue, but with this being a dress rehearsal, I'm not part of the game plan, so I think this should be a dress rehearsal. This should be almost the type of game plan that you're going to see against Oklahoma. You've got all the information you need from week 1 to week 2. Start building out that identity, man. So let's see what happens. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the video. If you didn't get chills, you need to go see somebody. You need to go to the doctor. Get your pulse checked. Good message from Hugh. Got to do something about this AP poll, and Auburn's got to get off to a fast start. But guess what? They know that too, and they're working on it. So, guys, I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll talk again soon. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.